Sorry about the bad lighting, but I really don't want to put a lighting thing in here right now. I just want to show you how to do a quick repair job. Plumber came here yesterday and replaced the hot and cold valves in the washer area. You can see the really nice job he did over there. So what happened was, originally the wall went over to here. The wall was completely closed over here, and he cut out this area, which was really drywalled in from the last repair, and kept the box in here, changed the valves, did the soldering in here. I wish he would have cut this section open when he was doing the work. It would have made things much easier for him. He was in a very small area working. The drywall went over there, the drywall went up to here, and he didn't have a lot of area to work. He really should have cut this thing open. But I want to replace the drywall. I don't need to replace it over here because we have a plate that is going to snap on the front of here. We have a beveled area over here, so I can't really put the drywall up to the top, but I can put it below and then patch. So when you're doing drywall, you don't want to just plop it in there and throw the mud or the joint compound on there. You want to have some place that the board can be held into. And like in this thing, in this case, it really doesn't matter. It's in a closet. Nobody's ever going to notice. I could just go in here and throw this in, screw it into the wall, and I'd be done. But you can see how I cut out a little bit of an area so that I've got the studs that I can drill into, like they did over here, this terrible job that they did over here. I'm not going to fix that up. I'm just going to patch it and I'll be done with it. Not that it matters. It's going to be in a closet. Nobody will ever see it. I didn't even know this existed. But now that I'm here and it's open, I'm going to do it. So I cut out over here so that I can put one piece of drywall in here, and I cut out this area over here so that I've got some studs that I can work on. My corners, make sure when you're doing this you really want to have straight lines and you want to have your corners clean. You can see my corners are not the greatest, but they're good. Now I'm going to I've got some drywall screws. That's what you want, drywall screws. I've got a drill. If you've got a drill, you should be able to put a bit in there and screw the drywall screw in. I've got an impact driver that I'm going to use. I'm only going to be putting in 2 screws. I could even do 1, but I'm going to put 2 over here and 2 on the other side. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. If you like my videos, thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. That always helps me. If you want to donate to my channel, ask for my PayPal info. And make sure you click on the links, the Amazon links in the video description. It helps me out if you buy from Amazon. Anytime you're going to buy from Amazon, just go over there, click on one of those links, and then do your purchase, and it will help me. Thank you. I don't have a shirt on, so I really don't want to get my back in this video, but this is the piece of wallboard that I cut. And it's going to fit in there. It's going to go in right below the bevel. It's not going to cause any damage to the plumbing that's behind there. It just fits in and it rests against the studs. And my cuts aren't exactly perfect. It doesn't really matter. You'll patch it up when you're going to be doing the mud. And the drywall is going to go against here, so it's not going to be anywhere near the pipes. It's a nice, clean fit. There's some gaps here and there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make sure it's resting against the studs on both sides. So all I'm going to do now, where are those screws? I've got some, these are drywall screws. You can buy them very inexpensively. And I'm going to be using an impact wrench. You can use a drill or an impact wrench. It doesn't matter. I want to look again to see where the studs are. The studs are definitely right on the edge of the drywall. This one on the left, it's more, I can go in like 1/4 of an inch. On the right, I really can't go in that far. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have a bit thing on here. You can see the stud at the very back. I'm just going to go over here, line it up. And I should probably put it in so it's not going in reverse. And you want that to go, you want it to go below. I probably should have put on my other glasses so I can see a little better. Okay, so that's flat. There we go. I want to get on the other side and try to do these 2. Just lower this down a little bit. And if you're wondering why this hose is there, they didn't want me to bump the valves. They didn't want me to bump the on-off part. And if I did by accident, they wanted this thing to be pressurized so the water would go right back into the other. So it's just a protective thing till the thing is delivered. So remember, the stud was pretty close to the edge, so I'm just going to go very close to the edge. That was not the right thing to do. I'll hold it in there. I don't like that. Okay. How hard is that pressing on that? Not too hard. Good enough. And then we're going to do the last one over here. And that's how you put in drywall. I'm going to mud this thing. Show you how to do that. It's up to you what you want to do. I've got patching compound. This is fast set 20, which means in 20 minutes after you mix the water with the stuff, it's going to be dry. You can buy pre-made stuff at the store. It's garbage because it's not. The consistency is just terrible, and it takes like a day to dry, and chances are it's not going to dry the right way if you put too much on it. It's just a hassle to work with. If you put your first coat on there, you've got to wait a day. If it doesn't come out good, then you got to break it off. With this stuff, the only thing I don't like about this, you got to be really careful. These powders and these chemicals, this drywall stuff, this is really bad for your lungs. So you don't want to be pouring this into the air and breathing up the silicates that are in here. Definitely will never leave your lungs, and it does do damage. But just take a scooper, or use your, you can buy this for a couple bucks to put your compound in, and some, I forget what these are called, to put your material on. And when they're wide, it smooths it out. You can feather it out really nice. If you don't care, like with this thing, you can get by with that. You don't have to go out and spend a fortune unless you're trying to do a big area that's going to be noticeable. So I'm going to go, I really don't want to do this on the video right now. I'm going to go scoop up some of this powder. I'm going to go, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put water in here. And then I'm going to scoop the powder in there and I'm going to mix it. You want it to be almost kind of like a peanut buttery, a creamy peanut butter thing. You want it a little thick. You don't want it watery because it's not going to do what it needs to do. It's got to have a thick consistency. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then you just flop this on the wall. And if you do a decent enough job, like in this thing, it's a closet. I don't really want to put a second coat on there and feather it all out. I just want to get this thing patched up and be done. So I'll show you what that looks like in a few minutes. Pain in the butt to do. Take the time. Oh, I got some water over there. Take the time. Set up some drop cloth on the floor. Just, it makes it easier. I was going to do this on the regular floor, and I just thought, no, I don't want to screw with that right now. Now, I wish I had a measuring cup. I like having a measuring cup so I can scoop this stuff in here, and I don't, so I probably have a lot more than I need, but that's okay. You watch a lot of videos, people that do this all the time, they just pour it in there. And like I said, that's okay. It's all over the floor right now. That's okay. If this stuff goes in your lungs, and this is not really good for you. I don't know if I have enough in here, or too much, or too little. If there's too much compound, then you pour a little more water in there. If it's too runny, then you pour more powder in there. Don't use a wet thing like this to go back in and grab your, yeah, this is way too wet. There's too much water in here. Oh, and I spilled it all over right now. So we've got 20 minutes. I got another dry one. It's way too big. I might have to pour this in here. I definitely messed up with too much water. The powder's already blowing around in the air right now. Definitely not good. I'm putting a lot more powder than I need, so I don't have to mess with this again. have way more than I need. Don't pour this down the toilet. You don't want to plug your toilet up. So I'm more gentle than somebody that does this for a living. I'm not a construction person. I was trained in delicate electronics, and so I'm very careful with what I do, very gentle. Now this is starting to get really thick, maybe thicker than I need it to be. You want it to, is that showing on the video? Yeah, that's showing on the video. Sorry if you're seeing my arm and my elbow. You don't want it to be powdery. So get into the bottom and mix this thing well. So when you're done with this stuff, just throw it into on a piece of plastic or something, wait for it to dry, and throw it in the garbage. And destroy the earth. Okay, this is really thick. This is a good consistency. Better than I'm used to. This is really powder, really gunky, really thick. There, you can see how it's kind of a creamy thing. It's thick. It's not coming off. I like this. I'm very pleased with this. I didn't think it was going to come out this good, but I'm happy. Okay, so after this is just a 5-minute job. You can see I put the screws in there really fast. After I cut it, which took forever, trying to cut the drywall evenly. Let me get the camera positioned again. Hey everybody. Alright, the camera shut off. I don't know why. I don't know if it's if I was recording anything while I was putting on the patch. But you can look right now and you can see, even with the bad lighting, you can see that that hole that was there, pretty much non-existent. The little patching up there. Let me zoom in. Not the greatest job. Again, I don't really want to smooth it out that much. I don't care. Everything is fine. Let's zoom in so you can see. So I put the plate on there. I could go in there and make another coat and get rid of all this this stuff over here, this gap, sand it down. It just doesn't matter to me that much. This room is going to be painted in a few minutes, and the washer is going to be in here and nobody's ever going to see this. So I just wanted you to see that is how you do it. I don't know if you were able to see me throw the mud on there because, like I said, the camera shut off. I don't know if it was recording, but very easy job to do. Make sure you drill into the studs when you're going to put in your drywall. It doesn't matter if there's a big gap around the drywall because you're going to patch it up. You're going to fill it with mud. Normally with something like this, you would put tape, either paper tape or that, whatever that mesh tape around the joints, and then you'd pile the compound on there so that it seals the right way. The gap was very minimal, and I just didn't want to mess with the tape. I just want to seal it up and get this thing done. But if you want to do a nice job, go do the tape. You won't have all these, well, done most of it, you can't really tell. But if you do the tape over there between the two pieces, throw the mud on there, it's going to look really nice. Nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to be able to tell. If you put a lot of material on there and you feather it out, you smooth it out towards the edges. And that's going to be the video. You don't really need to see me paint this thing, but thanks for watching. Any questions? Ask, leave comments. I know, like, this is not the greatest job. This is just a quick video on how to throw something like this together. So I don't need comments about the job looked terrible. I know it doesn't look great. I don't need any comments about technique or how I shouldn't be teaching people the wrong way. This is just for somebody who wants to patch up a little hole in a room really fast and is not too worried about what it's going to look like in the end. They just want to clean things up, close it up, and get it done.